Hey, my name's Brandon and I go by Bahl, and I make funky dance music. So I've just put out a 7-track EP or LP. I'm not sure what you would. I think it's technically an EP because it's 30 minutes long. And I put that out late last year, and it goes by the name of Exotic Radio, and it has similar tracks. It's got mostly dance music, and there's one sort of stretch to hip-hop and a bit of neo-psychedelia, sort of in the kind of Avalanches type vein. And I DJ and I play live, and sometimes with bands, sometimes solo. When I DJ, it's mostly funk, house and disco, but I try to just be as unique as possible, so I try not to do clubhouse at all, and just really make it difficult for myself and like throw myself around as far as BPMs and genres and eras, and try to get a really interesting kind of vibe happening. The track we're going to be diving into is Back on School Dirt. It's kind of, I think it was the second track on the EP that I wrote, and it started off with just really going down to the basics and putting a 4-to-the-floor kick and snare and just making a house groove. Basically just this, which is just a snare and really nice, a kick that I really love. It just seems to be not too, I don't know, it's not too boomy, it's not too clubby, it's kind of like in between a nice acoustic kick and something that really still bangs on a big system. And next I had these live hats and donkey bells, like from like mountain donkeys that walk through, I'm not even sure where they're from, it's like the pole or something like that, where they wear the bells around their neck and walk through the mountains, and it's just a sample of that. And it just gives like a cool kind of, almost like Indian kind of like vibe or something. And then what came next was just sound effects mostly, and this vocal sample, which is from a lady. Her name is Margot, I'm pretty sure, Margot Dangdet, and she has this one song called Chanson Le something or other. And I threw it on just over this beat with this bass line, and it just was in the right key, and it just really suited it. For around that time, I was listening to a lot of, in my mind at that time, I considered it to be underground house, and I mean that's such a broad term, and I'm no one to really, define that. But I was listening to a lot of Moody Man and a lot of Motor City Drum Ensemble, and those two artists were huge influences on what I was trying to achieve with dance music, but just like just so unique. Like it's not clubby, like you can listen to it on headphones, like you can just like, I don't know, have it playing as background music and like at home, and it's like almost relaxing. It's not really dance music, although it has a lot of the same traits, like the standard like constant kick, the same BPM, and a lot of the cuts that you would hear in dance music, but just in a really like laid back kind of way. And I really wanted to emulate that and copy it as closely as I could. And other influences would be just my long-standing influences that I've had for years, which are LCD Sound System and a track by them called Home was really influential with some of the sound effects that I used. So there's just those types of little bloops, which just like in the right spot, just like adds such great texture. So if you add in this guitar line, just adds like a really nice kind of like squelchy like flavor. The uniqueness of this track, I think, comes from maybe the length. It's like a 6-minute track, which a lot of my others are a lot shorter, and it's so repetitive. It's like a loop that just has like a little bit of ornamentation sort of scattered over it. It's the most popular out of all tracks that I've written. I don't really know why. I mean, I like it. I love it. It was definitely my favorite whilst I was making the EP. And it's actually it's kind of strange, but I don't know if anyone usually gets this from their own music, but I was listening to it one day in the car, like on the way to uni, and like the lyrics in it actually made me start to like well up a bit, because like I'd been living over here in Melbourne for 12 months or something, and it just reminded me of being back home, back on school dirt, like back on my old stomping ground sort of thing. And there's like a lyric in there. It's like, I miss my man. And I was like, yeah, it just got me in the feels. And like, it was so weird because it's like, I think it's probably because those lyrics, I didn't write them, so I could connect to them in that way. Whereas if I had written them, it'd probably be strange for me to like tear up listening to my own voice and my own lyrics. A huge help was my lecturer actually at the time, Ben Grayson, who's a great keyboard player, and he did this Rhodes line. So there's a Rhodes out at Monash where I study, and I asked him just to improvise over what I already had, and all he needed was a key, just to know what key it was in. And then he's just got great voicing techniques, and he just pulled out this one take. I didn't edit it at all. I think I put on like a bit of an EQ edit, took out the lows or something like that. But yeah, it was just perfect for it, and like I put it over the top, and towards the end he sort of went into this solo. Which with the rest of it just sounds like, I don't know, otherworldly. I used a lot of compression, which I hadn't really planned on. I'd finished the mix and presented it to a few of my friends, and Ben, my lecturer, and he said, "Yeah, it's great, but we need to do some mastering and some mixing." I'm like, I just spent like 3 months mixing this thing, and like I think it sounds good on the speakers that we have. And then I tried it through some of the outboard gear that they had out there, and I really didn't realize how much of a difference it actually made to use like a $15,000 compressor on a track compared to just, you know, mixing your raw tracks. So as a comparison, this is the compressed track and this is the raw track. The first thing is the clap. It's like just so much louder. And I just compress the crap out of it in this. It's actually just like, you can still hear it. It's just subtle. I like to listen to it when I'm driving. Yeah, it's like a really long track, so 6.5 minutes. It's sort of a background track to me. It's not something that I would sit down and listen closely to. Although you can. I think somebody's probably more likely to do that after they've heard it, maybe in the background. And if they dig that type of vibe, then they might listen closer and hear some of the smaller nuances in it. But yeah, I would say that's a summer track, in the car or, you know, at home on a Sunday.
Yo, Joe! I want you to sign your picture, bro.
Yeah, thanks for listening, and this is my track, Back on School Dirt. I hope you enjoy it.